Hey guys, it's me, Nolan. It's Tuesday, 26th of April, 2022. Hope you had a great week so far. Yep, it's only Tuesday, but a few days to go. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then we've got a bank holiday actually here in the UK on Monday, just in case you were not aware. So we might see less than normal volatility in the market, or we will do. So just be aware of that. Right, I'm going to have a little look at some charts of interest, starting with the NASDAQ, which has been a little bit surprising, if I'm honest with you. Let me just put my moving averages onto this monthly chart, because I've talked about this. I talked about the NASDAQ quite a few times, actually. Very, very bullish market, as you know, majority of the indexes are. We got this lovely tweezer formation, tweezer bottoms, which is basically a reversal pattern. We've seen price pull back into the monthly moving averages, come into this 1300. If I just zoom a little bit, will it let me do it? This 1300, big number. 13, unlucky for some. Support. And yeah, with these tweezer bottoms, literally, you're thinking, yeah, it's a reversal, and we expect price to carry on upwards for the next impulse. But look at the monthly candle so far. Yes, it's 3 days to go, but nowhere on this earth would have I expected the candle to have been like this following these two previous candles. You can even see it's still dropping now. It's at 13,128. So let's just have a little look. I don't need the moving averages for this. Weekly. Actually, I do need the moving averages. Looking at the weekly time frame with the averages on, we actually had this formation here. We had this big bullish engulfing candle push off 1300. We had a morning star pattern here. But literally, prices come into the moving averages. We've seen an inverted hammer there. It's almost like a shooting star candle, but it's just got a bullish close. And then look what happens. We get an evening star pattern closing below this 8 EMA. And yeah, that was actually, well, you wouldn't have necessarily traded it, but that was a sell signal if you were trading the weekly time frame. Not that I know many traders that trade weekly time frames, but literally, you'd only be looking for something like that. But yeah, and we saw that evening star formation, and we've just continued to drop. So I'm looking at the next stop being 1300 yet again. Now, yeah, the NASDAQ is a bullish market on the bigger time frame, but from this price action, I can't rule out that price is going to break this 13,000 level. I'd like it to. Now, often, for some reason, the market does the opposite to what I want it to do. So I want it to go long. So it's most probably going to break this level and go short. This is why it's very, very important to trade price action and not what you think is going to happen in the market. Okay, very, very important as a trader that you do that. So literally trading price action here would have, looking at this setup, you would be expecting further shorts. So it's coming into an area now where you're kind of going to sit out of the market and wait to see what happens. Are we going to break this 13,000 level? And if we do, we want to see it retested, and we want to see sellers come into play again if you're looking for shorts, because we could have a false break. Okay, maybe have a weekly close below 13,000. Everybody's getting short. And now it actually turns out to be a false break. So just be a little bit careful. But, looking at this the way it is, I am seeing a potential left shoulder, head, and a right shoulder, and what's called a neckline, which is your typical head and shoulders pattern, which is a reversal pattern. So keep an open mind on this and trade price action is all I'm saying. But this looks like a big old move, strong move down. Could be very interesting to see how the monthly candle finishes, to be honest with you. But yeah, keep your eyes on that. There's nothing there to trade right at this moment in time. I mean, if anything, on the daily, you could have looked at this formation, which was a more an evening star pattern there. Look, with a not a bearish engulfing candle, because there's different definitions for bearish engulfing candles. I use a specific definition, which is it has to break the high and the low of the previous candle and close below the low of the previous candle. So this didn't break the high of the previous candle, but even so, that is still an evening star pattern, which you could have looked to trade it if you wanted to. Your sell stop would have been under this candle 3 here. Your stop would have been above the high of the pattern, which is this high here, and then you'd be looking to target 13,000 because it's previous support. Now, that's only a 1-to-1 trade, not brilliant, but you might have been something you might have taken as an end of day trader last night. There was also, as you can see, this nice impulse correction into the 4-hour EMAs, and we start to see those sellers come in. So there were opportunities if you were looking for them, but now, you know, the closer we get to that 13,000, really you should be staying out of the market to see what happens. You know, look what happened here. Literally came in, reversed, tested the waters here. We'll see. You know, you can't predict what's going to happen. We're just going to have to look at price action, figure it out, and we'll go from there. But very interesting zone approaching. What is going to happen? That is the big question. Right. Pound Aussie. Not a chart I normally look at, if I'm honest with you, but I've been speaking with a few traders today, and this is on their radar. Some have mixed views about this, but I'll give you my analysis and you can see what you think. Let's just take that out for a second. Okay, so just looking at this weekly, maybe we can even look at the monthly, and let's just zoom in a little bit. We've got this support here, haven't we? Support. Didn't quite come into the zone there, but we've come into that zone here, look, this month, and we've obviously rejected it. Right now, price is in the middle of that candlestick with 3 days to go before the end of the trading month. But the thing for me is this, you know, sellers have come in, sellers have brought price down into this zone, and buyers at the moment are, in theory, in charge because the current market price is higher than where it opened. Of course, like I say, still got 3 days to go. And even then, if it looks like this, it's going to be a bit of a doji candle, a bit of an indecision candle. But let's have a look at the smaller time frames, because there is something quite interesting. Let me put some moving averages on this actually just for a second, because those moving averages are bearish on the weekly. Obviously the weekly still got 3 days to close. We've come into the moving averages and we're seeing a little bit of a sell-off at the moment. Let's have a look at the daily. Remember, the price action will always change trend on the smaller time frames first. So just because it's kind of bearish on the weekly, you might start to see it become bullish on the hourly, 4 hourly, and the daily, and then you'll see it on the weekly, if that makes sense. Now, just taking the averages off for a second, I'm going to drop it down to a 4 hour. So remember, we've come from a point of big support zone down here, and look at the price action. Yeah, that is an uptrend. That is making higher highs and higher lows. We can even draw in a trend line here, just connecting this low here, and let's get it right on this low here. And we do have a bit of a channel, which could be construed as maybe a flag pattern after this impulse, or it could be the start of a new uptrend coming from this major support here. So very interesting place at the moment. You know, is it going to go long, or is it going to break, and maybe we'll see another retest of this zone? But you know, if you're an intraday trader, actually even if you're an end of day trader, it might be interesting to keep an eye on this to see if we do start to push to the upside. Because if we do, of course, we're looking to potentially break this high and form a new high within the channel because it's an uptrend. Is there anything at the moment? Let's take a little look. No, I mean, as you can see, that momentum is still to the downside. Price isn't making higher highs or higher lows on this hourly. In fact, we've actually broken here. You can see this low here, breaks this low here. So it's still showing me that sellers are in control. So what could you look for if you wanted to buy this? If you're thinking, yeah, I actually like this and I think it's going to go long, what are you going to look for? Well, you can look for a break of the trend line. You look for an impulsive move and a correction. Let me just draw it in for you. You obviously want to see the trend line break. Now, what's important really is that this high here gets broken. You want to see an impulsive move, a sharp move. You know, we've had an impulse here, correction, impulse, correction. Actually, all this price action here is a correction. It's actually like a little range, and then it goes. So you want to see a solid move breaking out of this trend line or counter trend line, breaking above this high, because then we have a cycle change where we're getting lower highs. All of a sudden, we've got a higher high. You want to see it pull back and form a higher low. Okay, now just without a trend line, you know, something you could look for. This is on a 15-minute, so this is, you know, this is intraday trader territory. You've got your high there. What would be a typical way to trade this is to look for the break, retest, and then look to go long from here if you get a, for instance, a morning star pattern on the 15. Now, I'm not going to suggest that you go trading 15-minute time frames. You need to have a little bit of experience if you're going to. The smaller the time frames, basically, I think you need more experience. Stick to bigger time frames. You know, the less experience you have, you know, stick to the higher time frames, 4 hour daily. But yeah, there's nothing here yet to say change of cycle. In fact, pound, which is seasonally uncharacteristic, has been very, very weak this month. Don't know why, but seasonally April is a very good month for pound, but not this month. So it's okay trading seasonality, but you have to see it in the price action as well. Okay, so seasonality is another, how can I describe it? Another tool in your toolbox. You know, another weapon in your armory, if you like. But you have to see the technicals play out before you start trading that seasonal bias. We haven't really seen it, so you know that's that out the window basically. But this is looking very interesting. Great place. Like I say, pound has been very, very bearish. Let's see if we get a change of cycle here. We could carry on. We could break this and then we'll just carry on selling it. But otherwise, something could happen. I'm just looking to see if there's any GBP news coming out this week. Nothing on the high priority list, if I'm honest with you. I'll just bring it over actually. I'm just looking at the medium impact news. No, literally nothing. So unless it's going to be more to do with the Aussie, but no, it'd be very interesting to see if this does change cycle, because there's really nothing at the moment which is going to form a catalyst. So keep your eyes on it anyway. Maybe as a suggestion, you could place an alert above here. So because that's a 15-minute swing high. So I'm going to put an alert and then a little note for myself. 15-minute swing high broken. Okay, because if you want to go long on this, then there's nothing to do until we break this high. Okay, so just make things very, very simple for you. You know, you don't need to keep looking at the chart if that's what you're looking for. If you're looking for buys, set your alert, wait. And while I'm thinking about it, NASDAQ, I need to set an alert at 1300. I meant to do that earlier. I'm going to do it live on the video. Just going to put support. And we'll see if buyers come in then. So 1300, one to watch on the NASDAQ. Pound Aussie, break above this swing high here. 15-minute could be the start of an uptrend, looking to push towards the top of the channel and form a new high. Dollar CAD, this is an order we actually sent out for our end of day traders last night. Now, unfortunately, well, the good news, and there's good news and bad news. Good news is hit target, as you can see. Bad news is that it went without taking our entry, because our entry was down here. We had a lovely bullish move here. You can see the kind of double bottom here. Push up, resistance. Push down, break of resistance. This was a buy limit, looking for price to retest this resistance and become support. Just looking to the left, you can see that tip of the wick down here. You can see here. So we had a buy limit in this zone, hoping price would come into the zone, reject, and then a 2.5 to 1 trade up into towards this trend line resistance. But that hasn't triggered. But I would suggest maybe keeping that alert in play if you like this idea, because we could still, I'll just show you this. You know, we've had this push up and then we've come back down into it here, look, and then we've made a higher high. So could we actually come back down and then make a higher high? Possible. What I would do is set an alert. I wouldn't have that buy limit there anymore. I'd set an alert. However, one thing going against that trade now is the dollar index and where it is. Mark will have no doubt talked about this the other day. To put the monthly on, I mean, look where we are. I mean, the dollar index is just like or the dollar balls are just unstoppable at the moment. Look at that monthly candle. Huge momentum to the upside. We're coming to resistance. Does that mean it's going to stop and reverse? Not necessarily. We could actually see a little bit of a correction. There's a couple of things, you know, we could see the reversal, okay, and then we have this big move to the downside in line with what's happened here and here. Or I don't know whether we'd just break through it. We might see a little pullback. Maybe the market could trick some sellers into the market and then, boom, break through. It's just looking very strong at the moment. But something I was looking at yesterday was, you know, just looking at the cycles. We got that resistance there. I was hoping price would come back down towards that 101 zone, reject, and then we could have got long, you know, up towards trendline resistance. Obviously, we don't trade the dollar index, but we can look at, you know, the other dollar pairs to trade. But that didn't happen. It literally broke that resistance last week. Is that Friday? Yeah, it must be Friday, Monday, Tuesday. Broke the resistance on, or tried to on Friday. Boom, gone. Literally didn't pull back. So interesting place now, which is why, you know, I'm saying don't have this trade set up, but have the alert and trade price action, because that dollar index, what's it going to do? Are we going to see it reverse? Are we going to see it break through? It's looking very strong at the moment. So, you know, it's anyone's guess was the word I was trying to figure out. So just have a little look at silver. We don't look at silver. This is just something actually that I sometimes look for intraday trading. H1. Okay, if we're looking to buy Morningstar, interaction with the 20 moving average and a close below the 8. If looking to sell, evening star, interaction with the 20 and close below the 8. Something which I generally look at on intraday time frames. Here are my moving averages, my 50, my 20, my 8. There was actually, although there was no, coming down here, no interaction with the 20 whatsoever, not until here, the moving averages actually cross over, so that is no trading for me. Then we do get this little evening star pattern here, but really the one to trade in this one was 20th of April. 1, 2, 3. Look, evening star, interaction with the 20, close below the 8, a little sell stop below this candle would have just triggered you in, stop above the high, and yeah, let's actually go through that trade, because I don't know whether you would have held it for so long, but that was the setup. Let's use the cross, and then we'll use that. So, you know, short underneath the candle, stop above the high, and then, well, let's just see what it did actually produce. Doesn't mean you would have traded it all the way down, but that one trade there, that one trade there would have given you in excess of 5 to 1. Very, very simple end of day trade. So, you know, that's something you can take away from this video and have a little experiment with that. There was actually a trade set up on the 2 hour, not a common chart to look at the 2 hour, but there was actually an evening star pattern here. 1, 2, 3. Sell stop below the low, stop above the high. Triggered. You would have been down 0.5% there, risking 1%, and then you'd be about 0.7, 0.8% up at the moment if you're risking 1%. Let's just have a little look at the bigger time frame on this. Very, very bearish candle. Very, very bearish candle indeed. You know, where is this going to go to? I think, you know, a lot will depend on the US dollar as well. I was, you know, this is something I talked about many, many weeks ago, kind of a range play from the bottom here up into the realms of 27.5, 28. So that strong dollar, obviously this is silver against the US dollar, that strong dollar is helping push this down, as well as gold actually. So it's looking pretty bearish at the moment. I never suspected they would come back to test this 22 zone, but you know, you can't rule that out. Actually, what I'm seeing just while I'm, you know, looking at this chart, I'm looking at a potential impulse, and it's not brilliant, but a corrective pattern potentially. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect that low and this low, because I don't know if this is the low here, but we could be seeing a correction pattern. It's almost like a bullish flag pattern. So if you imagine this is the impulse, this is the correction, and then we could look for longs. Okay, look for a change of direction, a change of sentiment here. Nothing to look at the moment, as in, well, when I say look at, nothing to trade at the moment. It's very, very bearish. But have a little look to see if we get a change of cycle. Especially, let me just get this trend line exactly right. You know, especially if we were to come and test this trend line. That could be very, very interesting. So you're looking for change of cycle, higher highs, higher lows. Still very, very bearish at the moment. But yeah, just looking at that kind of bigger picture, that is instantly what I was seeing. We've kind of double bottomed here. We've had a push up, we've come down, we've made a higher high, and this could be a corrective pattern for upside into that zone which I was looking for, final target. So just keep your eyes on silver. There might be something on gold as well. You know, I wouldn't trade both of them. You know, if you saw setups, trade one or the other. Or if you're going to trade both, maybe reduce your risk and trade, you know, a half risk on silver, half risk on gold. Dollar yen, 4-hour moving averages have crossed over here, which is significant, I think. And this is the 30-minute chart with those moving averages again, the 50, the 20, the 8. Now, I actually missed this trade earlier, but I just thought I'd show you. We can actually see, look, we've got bearish moving averages here with the 20 above the 8. You can see prices making lower highs, lower lows. And there was actually, there was an evening star pattern there, but the moving averages weren't in the correct order. But here, look, the moving averages are in the correct order for a downtrend on this time frame, 50, 28. You got a bullish candle, bearish, bearish. That there is an evening star pattern and bouncing off the 20 moving average. That was actually a sell setup, which if I would have spotted it, I would have taken it, but I didn't see it. Sell stop below candle 3, stop above the high, boom, you made 3%. Me personally, I'd be probably out at 2%. I'm quite happy with 2%. So that's something you could keep your eye on as well. See if we get another setup. It's making lower highs, lower lows on the 30-minute. So look for it to make another lower high, and then look for that evening star pattern. Moving averages have to be in the correct order. Look for that evening star pattern. We've interacted with the 20. We're above it at the moment. We want to see a evening star pattern with candle 3 closing below the 8. And that potentially could be a sell setup if you like it. All right, guys. So that's it from me. Keep your eyes on Pound Aussie. You never know. You never know. Pound has been very, very weak. But something can happen in the market. You know, anything. There's nothing in the news schedule, but, you know, who knows? Boris Johnson might resign or something, and the market thinks fantastic, and we see a strong pound. Who knows? Getting a bit political there. Anyway, guys, have a great rest of your week, and I will catch you again in my next video, and that'll probably be on Thursday. Have a good one. Catch you later. Bye.